welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi and welcome to my absolutely crazy life. So today's video is a really interesting story about some bad choices that I made and how that caused $5,000 worth of damage to my car. So if you guys have been a part of my channel and my journey for a while, you've probably seen my hybrid home series. If not, I have a playlist on my channel, and for a while I was living in my car, both in San Diego and then briefly in Kauai as well. So if you guys didn't know, I left Kauai about when COVID-19 started happening, when all the businesses shut down. I found myself in a bit of a tight situation and I had to do a lot of moves really quick. So I decided to come home and live with my parents during the pandemic, during the quarantine. I thought I was just gonna be here for a couple months, and then it ended up turning into a year-long visit home. One of the biggest motivators for me coming back to California to live with my parents for a bit was because I lost my place to live, and on top of that I also lost my job and my source of income. So I found myself in this situation of, okay, well, I can crash with like friends and potentially be a burden on people because I could already see like everybody's out of work. It's going to be difficult for people to pay rent and for people to even get groceries at that point. And I just knew that I didn't want to be a burden on anybody there because it's already hard enough for people to live and to take care of another person like me. I didn't even want to put any of my loved ones in that position. So yeah, I decided to make that choice, and because of that, I decided to leave my car with somebody that I thought I could trust. I left my car with somebody that I met through work who was like a coworker, an acquaintance, and I guess somewhat a friend. Anyway, that person said that they would be more than happy to help me out with my car situation because I wasn't planning on ever leaving Kauai, and it was just, in my mind, it was a temporary situation where I'd leave until things normalized, jobs opened back up, I could come back and work and get a new place to live, and it would all be good and everything would just kind of flow and continue from there. Anyway, this coworker of mine said, yeah, like my friend can totally store your car at his house. It'll be all good. And I'd met this person before a couple times, and you know, I don't know, I just didn't know this person very personally, and so I was a little bit hesitant, but I trusted this coworker of mine enough to help me with this situation, and they had been fairly reliable in the past, so I decided that I didn't really have any other choice. Looking back though, I really should have just left it with one of my good friends that I knew her really well and I trusted her with like anything. In my mind, I just didn't want to be a burden to her or her family in any way, so I didn't even think to ask, but I wish I did because that could have saved me. Guys, I'm not even kidding, $5,000 worth of damage. Anyway, I left my car with this person and they did drive it around. I said that they could drive it. I did ask them not to smoke in it, and I told them not to, I said that they could use it for errands, you know, and little daily trips and stuff, and just things like that. So I'm not trying to like totally bag on anybody here, because while I was gone, the person that I entrusted my car with, they did take care of a couple things for me. They changed the oil, helped me renew my registration for that year since I had been gone longer than I had anticipated. So everything was actually like, the most important things were done, I think, but when I came back to see what happened to my car, guys, I was in complete shock. I was almost speechless at how everything had unfolded, and to be honest, I was mad, but I wasn't, because I knew that it was my fault because I left it with somebody that I didn't fully trust. And anyway, I'm just gonna show you guys some of the footage I took the next day after I got my car. Just a little preface, I got my car returned to me late at night, the night before I took this footage. And so it was late at night, nothing was open. I opened the door and it smells horrible. It smells like the absolute dankest, muskiest, smokiest, like nasty, nasty smell. And there are roaches scurrying when I open the car door and there's light. There's one that I saw that was like this big, I'm not even kidding. It was the most terrifying thing. It made me not want to get in my car. It actually took me a long time to work up the courage to get there. I was with two of my really, really good friends at the time, thank goodness, because they helped me through this time. They were so kind to me, and they're like, let's go to the store, let's get the roach traps, let's get some cleaning wipes, you know, let's see what we can do just so you can get home safe. And I'm like, okay. So they were there as wonderful support for me, so thank you so much to my sisters. I really, really, really appreciate you, and I definitely needed that love and support in that absolutely crazy time. One of my friends even told me, she just took a look at the car and said, you need to sell this. You need to sell this right now. Like, this is done. There's no coming back from this. And to be honest, I looked at it and I just couldn't even get that idea in my heart or in my head. Like, I was like, no, I can't give up on this car. I can't, even though looking at it, it was rough. So anyway, that night before I got the wipes, I got the roach traps, I set those up. My friend was nice enough to show me how to set them up because I had never had to do that before. I wiped a bunch of stuff down. I looked, everywhere before I got in the car, and I just felt so icky. And I drove to a gas station where they have those quarter operated vacuums. And I used the vacuum to vacuum as much of the sand and dirt and just grime off of the seats and the floor as much as I could. And when I was vacuuming, I wish I took footage of this, but I didn't, and I'm sorry. But I found in a bottle a Black Widow because, to keep a long story short, I ended up getting my car away from those people because I had heard about what happened to it, and it was entrusted with my now ex-boyfriend, and he took it and tried to fix a couple things with it. He did take a bunch of my stuff out that had been in my car, and he did do a little bit of cleaning, which I do appreciate. He told me that there was a Black Widow spider in my car, and I got really scared. He trapped it, and I didn't realize that he left it in the car. So I find this little jar, a plastic container, and I'm like, what is this? And I look at it and I'm like, oh, and I realize it's a Black Widow spider. Thank goodness there was only one, because I can't tell you how creepy crawly I felt the whole time I had to drive back to where I was staying. It was late at night, and all I could think about was roaches and spiders, and it was terrible. On top of all that, I also got pulled over by a cop that night because one of my headlights was out, which I already knew it was already out, but I just forgot that I had to drive with the brights on because I guess both lights turned on with the brights, but not when I just had the normal headlights on. So a cop pulled me over, and she was really nice, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get it fixed right now, I'm really sorry. And I told her, I'm like, I've never been pulled over before. So I was really cooperative, and she was really kind, and she gave me a warning and said, you need to get that light fixed as soon as you can, and get home safe. And I'm like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. So yes, some real good luck there, some real angels helping me out there, because yeah, getting pulled over on top of that, everything that had happened was just the cherry on top of the sundae, to be honest. So anyway, I'm gonna show you guys this footage of the next day and see what you think. So here's the back bumper. As you can see, it's a bit popped out. The driver's door has a huge scratch on it, a lot of dings. Not super excited about that. I just wanted to get around the whole vehicle and see if there were any little scratches and dings that I hadn't seen before. When I came over to the passenger side, I noticed that the bumper over here was a real piece of work. It was popped out, and at the bottom it was even torn. It had clearly been bashed into something. Somebody was clearly not looking where they were going or paying attention. And here's our roach friend. This is the large one that I saw in my car when I first got it back. It was not a pleasant surprise. Yeah, this was my first time ever having a roach problem, and so getting the roach traps, setting those up and everything, it was quite an experience. There are cigarette burns on the seats, at least 3 that I counted. Besides a lot of like trash and dirt and sand and everything that was like left in the car, like there's a cigarette butt over here. Yeah, I can't even begin to describe to you guys what the smell was like when I opened up this car. Oh my gosh. It was literally the worst. I described it to some of my close friends, but I think it's too inappropriate to share here on YouTube. But let's just say it was pretty nasty. It smelled a lot like smog, musk, cigarette smoke. It was just really bad. Now the steering wheel here, this was pretty interesting. As you can see, a lot of the rubber coating has just completely worn off. I have never had this happen to me before. However, an ex of mine used to have acidic sweat, and this would happen to his steering wheel in his car. So it's possible that the person who was supposed to be looking after this car for me has acidic sweat, and with the heat and the acidity, just totally wore the steering wheel down like this. I ended up getting a really cute little steering wheel cover to cover it. I don't think you guys can see from this view, but there were some little roaches running around in here. It was super nasty. I was not excited to see that. And this is the remainder of the items in my car. I can't even begin to tell you guys how bad they smelled of old cigarettes. Yeah, it was not fun to search through all these things to find roaches everywhere. Well, this is what you get for leaving your car with really scummy bad people. Yeah. Roaches, cigarette burns, cigarette smell, car damage. This is what I get. And I'm actually okay with the logic of that. My dad just was like, you living here is a fantasy, it's an illusion. He's saying I should move back to California, and... Hey there. So, just to update you guys a little bit about this crazy ass car situation. So I just finished, like, I spent hours out here. I don't even remember when I started, but like hours. Taking my stuff out, shaking it out for roaches and spiders potentially, and wiping everything down, organizing it into trash and keep and wash and all these things. And yeah, that took a long time. I'm happy it's finally cleaned enough. Like, the back is empty, everything's wiped down for now. Definitely found some critters, but overall, keeping a positive attitude. I just, in times of stress like this, I've only really been able to like laugh and smile about it. I'm just like, I don't even have the energy or the time to waste on being upset or sad about things right now. So I'm using my time and energy to benefit me right now. And what that means is, in times of stress, I like to stay focused and be like, okay, there's a list of things that I have to do. So I write down the list, and first that was get everything out, clean it, check it, sort it out, organize it, right? So that's good. I have to go and get some new headlights because one of the headlights went out, and you know, some people tried to fix it and they just kind of meddled with it and made it worse. And so I have to just go get some headlights myself and do that. I have to pay to get my car detailed and cleaned, so like shampooed and washed inside and out, wiped down, cleaned, vacuumed, like thoroughly. Yeah, and then I think it's gonna be totally fine. It seemed really bad last night, and it seemed kind of bad today, but the smell of the cigarette smoke is clearing out. There are only like, I think there's like 3 burn holes in the seats total, which kind of sucks, but the good thing is those can be fixed easily with a patch. I also met somebody really nice today. Like, totally didn't expect it. Yeah, they just came over because they saw my art and stuff, and they're like, you're still out here? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you've been out here for a long time. I'm like, yeah. So I just gave them like a little brief, like, oh yeah, my car is infested and it's gross right now and gotta take care of it. And yeah, So we just had like a nice little conversation, and that was just nice, you know. I don't know, I like meeting new people. I've discovered that about myself. I'm very introverted and I really enjoy my alone time, but I really love meeting new people. And yeah, there's always room in my heart for more. So yeah, my poor mala necklace, it's still here, which is great, but part of it, the part that's facing the sun, as you can see, it's gotten really green and discolored. But I think it's kind of pretty because, I don't know, it gives it more character, I guess. But yeah, the sun is no joke here. And I'm like remembering that and hoping not to get too bad of a sunburn because I didn't put any sunscreen on. I've just been out here and it's been intermittently, I hope I said that right, cloudy and sunny. I'm just, yeah, giving you guys a little update of that because I just literally spent hours doing that. And yeah, so I'm just taking you guys along on my little journey, fixing my car and starting my life out. Sorry I keep looking here, I haven't done this in a long time. I'm just taking a quick breather right now, and then I'm gonna head to like the auto place. So yeah, oh my god, you can see my stuff back there, my roach traps, and there's like one down there, and it's yeah, this is definitely probably really gross for some people, and believe me, it's really gross for me too. This car is very special to me, and I know that sounds really stupid to some people, but like this was my vessel for a long time. This is how I get to and from places, how I take my friends on adventures. This is my shelter for a while. You know, this car was my shelter and my vessel for a while, and I've had a lot of great memories with it, and I've taken really good care of it. And so it was really, really disheartening to see the damage that has been done to it, and the carelessness and the disrespect that my poor car had to take. I'm just really happy to have it back, and I'm really happy that it's not in worse shape, and I'm just really thankful that there's like a bright side to everything. Anyway, I need to go get gas and I need to go run some errands, so I will see you guys later when this passes. Alright, so after all of that deep cleaning for hours and hours and hours in the sun and the rain, as you guys could tell in that footage, I was extremely exhausted. I not only had just been going through a breakup, which was very emotionally turbulent, I guess, I was also absolutely exhausted. I just couldn't sleep right for a couple nights, and after all that cleaning, the sweating, I was dehydrated. I'm sure you guys could tell in the footage I definitely was not looking or feeling my best. I was just extremely overridden in my brain with thoughts of what I needed to do to make this car okay. So after that, my dad was really helpful, and thank goodness he was there, because he really helped to make everything a lot better, and he helped fix my car and helped me to prioritize and see what I could do to make it all better. And so I was really happy that my parents were there to help me through this hard time. I got a lot of things replaced. I obviously got a new set of lights for the car, so the headlights were working again. I got a new set of air filters for the under the hood and also the inside of the car, because all that cigarette smoke had really damaged the filters and made them grimy, and every time you use the air it just kind of circulated that dirty musky smell back in. So I had to get new filters for the car. I also did pay somebody to deep clean the car, so they did like a hot wash with shampoo and wiped everything down, vacuumed everything inside and out the car. They just made it super, super clean, so thank you so much for doing that. You know who you are if you're watching this. I got a new steering wheel cover because there wasn't really anything I could do about the damage that was done to the steering wheel except cover it. So I did get a steering wheel cover that I think was really cute, and it's actually really comfortable, and it gives my car sort of like that boho sort of feel, which it definitely has that feel now because it's been so lived in. Had to buy new windshield wiper fluid, which was kind of unrelated to the damage of the car, but it was just another expense because I happened to run out exactly then, and so got new windshield wiper fluid. I replaced all of the windshield wipers on the car as well because they had looked pretty, they were definitely at the end of their life. I got all the tires filled because they were running pretty low. They were decently low, the back one was pretty low, so I got all the tire is filled. I also had to order some touch-up paint for the car because, as you guys saw, there were so many dings and scratches all over it. So I just used that paint to touch up all the spots around the car except the front bumper, because as you guys saw, that's the big ticket item here. The bumper was the thing that was absolutely messed up so much. My dad and I did take a look at the bumper, and we did contemplate sort of making like a band-aid solution repair. Like, we could have maybe repaired it just so it stayed up, but again, the bumper would have looked absolutely destroyed. As you saw, the metal was like cracked and it was bumped into, like somebody clearly was not paying attention on the road when they were using this car. I actually have a pretty good idea of what happened, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't know for sure. So, you know, I'm not trying to spread any rumors here. Regardless, the big ticket item, the bumper, had to be replaced. So overall, we did the calculations and we tallied it up, and the grand total, if you're watching this video, you've already seen the title, you already know, is $5,000 worth of damage to my car. So, moral of the story to anybody watching, do not leave your car unattended with people you don't really trust. And that should just be the most no-brainer thing in the world, but as somebody that was in a desperate and fast-moving situation that I was at the time, I just didn't really put myself in a place where I could slow down and make a proper choice. So yeah, anybody watching this, don't ever do that. Even if you're desperate, like, burden your friends. Ask your friends for help. Ask good, reliable people for help. That's a problem that I have so much, is I have a hard time asking my friends for help because I never want to like burden the people that I love. Sometimes I think if I'm asking for help, then I'm putting them out, but honestly, if they're good people and they're your friends and they love you, then they're more than happy to help you. So we'll not be making that same mistake again. I also just want to close out this video by saying I did not go and ask the people that watched the car to pay for anything. I didn't go and get money from them. I didn't even go and yell at them or tell them off or anything like that. I just got my car back, assessed the damage, took care of it, and just decided to leave it because sometimes it's not worth it. It's not worth it to go and chase people down for money or, you know, yell at somebody for whatever. Sometimes if somebody screws you over in life, you just let them go because it's really not worth sacrificing your peace of mind and your sanity over some thing that somebody did to you. That was definitely a lesson that I was carrying with me for a couple weeks for many situations, you know. But yeah, this car really ate up so much of my time. I was so bummed because I had imagined doing all these wonderful things with my friends and going all these places and just making beautiful memories, but instead I had to devote a lot of time and energy to repairing my car. So again, I realize and I take full responsibility for my choices and what I did in this situation, so not trying to blame anybody else here. But yeah, if anybody took anything from this story and learned anything, then that's great. I really hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, definitely feel free to subscribe and follow me on social media. I have a Facebook page, I'm on Instagram, I have like 3 different Instagrams honestly. And I am also on TikTok, but I'm not very good on TikTok. I don't really like know what to do, so I don't post very much, but I am trying to make the effort, so we'll see where that goes. I try to post a new video every single week, so if you guys like consistency, then I'm your girl. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I will see you in my next video, and stay grounded.